Okay, welcome everybody. Speed recap. We're building a one bed, one bath, and kitchen addition off the back of our house. And if you want the 30-second version of what I learnt this week, it's talk to as many people as possible in your town hall. Talk to the building department, talk to the Board of Health, talk to the Conservation Commission, and talk to the Board of Appeals with what you want to do. Show them a sketch of the plan if you have it, or just verbally explain it and ask if there's any recommendations you should watch out for. As it turns out, I spoke to a few of them early, but not enough, and I've learned of a few new requirements that have some pretty big implications. So let's get right into it. So there's some good news this week, so I'll try to make this a bit of a news sandwich. And the good news is we have a local GC. I met him at our house. He's really friendly and knowledgeable and has the bandwidth to take on our project in our timeline. He's not booked up for months and months, so that's great. Which leads to the first bit of bad news. Major additions like this often need special permits that require the town to review during a Board of Appeals meeting, not just a regular building permit and away you go. And while the Board of Appeals does meet every other week, they're currently backed up for 2 months. And assuming that they approve, there's then a 20-day waiting period where our neighbors can basically submit complaints, and then we can start. So that sets our timeline back quite a bit. The second setback is with our setbacks. So when I spoke to the Conservation Commission, I found out that in Massachusetts, there's a requirement that you can't build within 50 feet of a wetland. And if you want to build within 100 feet, you have to file what they call as a notice of intent, and then they'll review and either approve or decline. And it just so happens that our house is already within 100 feet, which means I have to get a local botanist to confirm the exact location of it, then get a surveyor to officially document the wetlands and the exact distance to our planned addition on what's called a plot plan, and then file a notice of intent that will be building within 100 feet of the wetland. Now, a wetland doesn't have to be a giant lake or anything. It can be as small as a pond that supports wildlife, which our neighbor just so happens to have in their front yard. So when looking at the current plan I've been showing you guys, we're actually building towards the pond. So in order to make a better case for ourselves, we're going to have to rotate the design 90 degrees and build away from it, which means we're going to have to go back to our architect to help reconfigure the layout and our local GC with the new design, so there's going to be some rework, which kind of sucks. Once I do have the rotated design though, I will of course be showing you, which means another design model tour. But back to some good news. In addition to the Conservation Commission approval and the building department and the Board of Appeals all approving, I also need approval from the Board of Health, all of which are in your town hall for what it's worth. The Board of Health's main concern is if you have a septic system, whether it can support an additional bedroom. Our septic system is in good working order. It's rated for 3 bedrooms and we have a 2-bedroom house, which means we should be good to add an additional bedroom. Well, as it turns out, you need a Title V inspection, which is an inspection of your septic system plus a home walkthrough to confirm the number of bedrooms you actually have. And the requirements are slightly different to what a realtor or even maybe the building department may say what constitutes an actual bedroom and what doesn't. For instance, a Title V inspector can just count the number of normal rooms, like kitchen plus living room plus bedrooms plus office, etc., and divide it by 2, and that's the number of actual bedrooms according to the Title V. The good news is that our inspection confirmed we actually have 2 bedrooms, so we are good to go. From the Board of Health's perspective, at least. Which was a huge relief, because if we had to upgrade our septic system, it would have been a huge costly addition, a huge chunk of change. So that was a big relief there. 3-bedroom septic with 2 actual bedrooms. So TLDR is that I have to break the news to our GC and our architect that we have to rotate the design. I have to hire a botanist to confirm and mark the wetland's official location, get a surveyor to confirm the distance between the wetland and our addition's newly proposed location, submit these details to the Conservation Commission in a form called a Notice of Intent, which also has a bunch of other requirements too, attend the hearing and state my case why I should be allowed to build within 100 feet and what I'm going to do to minimize any disruption to the pond, take that result along with the Title V to the Board of Appeals and apply for a special permit. Wait a couple months for them to hear our case and hope they too approve the addition. So the main lesson learned from me here is talk to your town early and often. Mine were all very, very friendly, but there was a lot I didn't know, and you may have to get multiple departments to approve before you can proceed, and they may have different requirements from each other. Silver lining with the delay is we have a little bit more time to save up, and while we haven't gotten official quotes yet, more time to save must be a good thing, right? Right? It's a bit of a roller coaster update, a few bits of good news and a few setbacks, and I knew going into this, it wasn't going to be all cakes and rainbows. And thankfully my wife is very supportive and encouraging, so I know we'll figure this out together. And if not, we'll have a hell of a story to tell. So for those of you watching who are planning an addition, this wasn't an exhaustive list of all the approvals you need. Once I get finally approved, I'll do a recap video with all the bits and pieces, but your situation is probably different to mine, so go make friends with the people at your town hall. And with that, take care, guys.